Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Comscore.
Today we have with us Stephen Key, expert in web design and SEO. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Coms. Excited to be here.
Yeah. So I've met you for how long now? Maybe a couple of years. I've known you for a little bit, more than a year for sure, right?
It feels like a couple of years. That's because you're trailblazing it. But I think it's about a year.
About a year?
I think it's about a year.
Through a networking thing. Yes, through a networking thing.
Yes.
I do remember that. I remember that day. And yeah, through Nick. And
Yes, it was a coffee catch-up.
Yes. That's awesome.
I think we can actually measure that depending on, I was person number 292 and Nick's on person 400. So we can ask Nick how long he's taken to get from that point, and we'll know how long we've known each other based on that calculation.
Right.
Yes.
We can get hard data.
Yes, there we go.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, since then, we've never actually spoken. So I'm actually just taking this opportunity to get to know you while the rest of the world does at the same time.
Fabulous. I love two birds with one stone. Perfect.
Cool. So the only thing I really know is like, I probably see your wife a bit more than you.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I probably hear more about you than the other way around, but that's okay. That's okay.
Do you guys run the business together?
We started Key Web Designs together, but now she runs more the asset side of things. So we own a couple of domains and she runs that. And we've merged Key Web Designs, the active part of the business, the active, it's still kind of semi-passive, I reckon, to SME Digital. So Key Web Designs merged. We brought our portfolio to the SME Digital banner. So now three of us run it, and then Melissa has time to look after the kids and then manage.
Three of you run it. Who's the third person?
So Avni and Amish founded SME Digital. Melissa and I founded Key Web Designs. We knew each other from the same certification program. Amish and Avni were student of the year and we were runners-up. So we were frenemies from day one.
Nice.
So
think that to collaborate.
Exactly. We started networking as our businesses grew. We networked around the same circles, and then we started pitching for the same clients. So we decided instead of being frenemies, let's bat for the same team. So
that's cool.
Yeah, Inkstride 5 months ago, working really well.
Right? Did you say it only started 5 months ago?
We merged.
Merged 5 months ago.
Yeah. So the businesses themselves are 3 years. 3 years plus. We've redesigned our own sites. This is a 5th iteration. So if you look at it today, it's the 5th time both entities and the combined entity have redesigned the website.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you do in like schooling? Were you in IT? Were you always interested in the space?
Mathematics. So that's why I knew how to calculate how long we've known. So I studied financial maths, which is the actuarial science equivalent in South Africa. Did some of the boards through the Institute of Actuaries in the UK. In South Africa, so I'm South African born.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yes, worked in life insurance there. Second generation.
Yeah. No, like that's not something you just skip.
Yeah, okay, well, there we go. Yeah.
Just like, it feels like such a dangerous country.
It is.
Is it or is it not?
It is. Funny you say that. I was actually having a conversation with a CEO a week ago. She asked, why do I do what I do? I'm someone that's fought against odds. And one of the stories was, and this isn't active in my memory. That conversation led to that. My dad was in a gunfight. He owned a grocery store in near the townships in South Africa.
Yeah.
I was in primary school, if not high school, but probably primary school.
Are both your parents Asian?
Yes. So my mum is an immigrant in South Africa. So she was born in China.
Yeah.
My dad is first generation, so his grandparents were from China.
Okay.
So my dad's first generation, I'm second generation South African, and now an Australian immigrant.
Much of an Asian community in South?
At the time, 500,000 out of a population of 46 million.
Right.
So less than 1%. Yeah. Now, I don't know, it's been 13 years now. Wow, time flies. It's been 13 years since I've been back, so I don't know what the latest stats are.
So when you were growing up, who did you surround yourself with? Like what nationality?
South African.
Yeah.
I can speak. So
and are they
native,
white, dark, what?
White, African, So Indians, pretty much reflective of the demographic. So in South Africa, back at the time now, 10-year-old statistics plus, 85% African,
Yeah.
10% white.
It's so
5%
funny you go
Indian.
full data.
I'm a data man. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to picture, you know, in my head, like what that is like growing up. And did you feel included, or did you feel different at all because you were born there? It just felt like home.
I think we were lucky that Nelson Mandela was freed in 1990. So I was 8 then. We won the rights to hold the Rugby World Cup after the sanctions were ended in 95. We had the first free and fair elections in 94. So it was a great time to grow up. So I did feel included. My dad has stories of he'd have to drink his can of Coke in the non-white section, kind of things, those horror stories. But
Right.
look, he can speak the native languages, Tswana. He can speak Afrikaans and English in addition to
And you?
Chinese. I'm Afrikaans. I can speak Afrikaans, which means I can listen to Dutch people speak. German, I'm okay with German. But
Interesting.
yeah, Afrikaans and Dutch, very similar.
Would have never guessed that.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
So how long were you there for before you?
So I was
came to
born
Australia?
there. I was born there. So I'm gonna reveal my age. I'm a dinosaur. But that's also okay. I carry around a clipboard these days. I'm trying to stay away from the screen more and more.
Yeah.
82, born in 82, moved to Australia in 2011. So what does that make me? 29. Yeah, caffeine's running low. So maths maybe.
I haven't had mine either. I'm not
Yeah,
calculating.
yeah, so it's something like that. Something like
Yeah.
that. So 82, born in 82, moved to Australia in 2011.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's so what made you guys move? Like,
So we wanted to raise a family in a safe country.
oh, you didn't tell me about the danger part. Like,
Yeah, we were on that. My dad was in a gunfight. He had a store,
Yeah.
and behind the store was where we lived. Okay.
Yeah.
So then he was in an armed robbery.
Yeah.
And the gunpoint, the robbers, 3 robbers versus my dad and some staff. They put my dad laying face down on the floor and covered him with a jacket. My dad had a gun in his elbow, but they searched him, and by some miracle, my dad managed to steal the gun. Otherwise, it would have been game over. Long story short, it ended up with a gunfight. We had dogs in the backyard, so the robbers didn't invade our home. Otherwise, it would have been a really bad, messy situation. So then gunfight later, police, everything. And then from there, in near a township in South Africa to Sydney, living in Lane Cove, 10, one of the 10 best cities in the world. We beat the odds. So that's why I'm in business. Long story short, we beat the odds. We want to make sure that we share as much of that so that people can uplift themselves, whether they're clients or people in our network. That's what.
No, hang on. I can't just stop at the long story short bit.
Okay.
So how did you guys move out of Africa though? Is that like a difficult thing to do?
Wasn't too bad. South Africa is a tale of 2 cities. You've got the upper class, which live in their own bubble. So if you go on YouTube and look at Sandton is separated by a freeway to townships, and the townships are the source of all the maids and all the workers that keep the wealthy living comfortably.
Okay.
So we were in our bubble. Parents worked their proverbials off. 7 days a week to get a better life for us. So we were highly educated. Melissa, very similar story. She was an accountant. So at the time, 2005, accountants, I don't know if they're still on the shortage list, but back at the time they were on the shortage list. So then we got permanent residency. So then that's when we moved.
Yeah.
And why we moved, we wanted to start a family in a safe country. So that's our story. I didn't see myself when my kids were teenagers driving at night, and then I'm worried if they're going to come home safely.
Yeah. So that is a real common worry. Like in South America at night, it is probably dangerous.
South Africa, yes. But potatoes, the same, yes.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. We wouldn't stop at a traffic light. So if you're driving at night, if the traffic light turned amber, if you were close enough, you'd floor it and pass it.
Dangerous as in like your life will be in danger.
Life will be in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people would kill for money. Is that really what it is?
They after the material wealth, right? But accidents happen because the criminals would
Yeah.
be armed with a knife or a gun.
Yeah.
And accidents happen. If you know, instincts kick in, you want to protect your belongings and you put up a resistance and then a trigger might go off.
Yeah.
It's from that perspective. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the law around that would be relatively loose, that people can get away from that. So it keeps happening. Is that?
I wouldn't call it loose. I think it's just under-resourced.
Yeah.
Policing is under-resourced. Yeah, they've got a lot of challenges.
Gotcha.
There's corrupt government and all things.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome that you made your way to Australia and Sydney.
Yes. No, good. It's been wonderful. Every day I have a moment, I am always grateful. Even something as simple as sitting on the bus, crossing the harbour bridge, I can just zoom out and imagine the opening scene to a movie and then tell the story and then just be grateful that we live in Sydney.
Yeah. Did your dad move, your whole family moved?
So thankfully, yes. So my brother, middle, so we're three brothers. I'm the oldest. So the middle one came over to Melbourne. We followed suit shortly after that, Melissa and I. And then my third brother came a couple of years later, and then finally my parents. So thankfully, all the immediate family, both Melissa's immediate family and my family.
So you met Melissa in South Africa?
We met in South Africa, yes.
Wow, you guys travel the whole country.
We have. So Melissa's born in Macau, moved to South Africa when she was 3.
Oh.
So her accent, I'm surprised you didn't pick this up.
No.
South African accent is stronger than mine.
Yeah, no. I don't think I know enough South Africans to pick up the accent.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's really cool. Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So tell me about your business. You help people with website building?
Yeah. So we do 3 things. We build websites for businesses that don't have a website. There's very few of those these days. We redesign websites for businesses that have a tired looking website or have a good website, but not good enough in terms of conversion, high conversion websites. But our secret sauce and what we're specializing is SEO, organic search rankings. That's what we're
like after. You can get people to #1 in Google search, or what are we talking about?
That is actually clickbait. Anyone can rank 1.
Yeah.
Right. But what does rank 1 mean? And does rank 1 result in revenue? That's where people
maybe not necessarily result in revenue, but if you come up on the search, you have a higher chance, because if you don't come up on the pages and you have to go to the 3rd page before someone finds you, the chances that they won't click on you though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's rank 1 is half the story. Yes, we get people ranking 1.
Is that a pretty easy thing to do, or that's a pretty hard thing to do?
It's a hard thing. Well, it's easy to get on rank 1 for anything, right? If you start a business, joesoap.com.au, I can rank joesoap.com.au within a month or 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But what does it mean? If Joe Soap sells soap, fragrance soap, you need to outcompete the established guys.
Then afterwards it's the offer, right? So
Exactly.
it does make sense that the SEO part goes hand in hand with the actual website, because you can get someone on rank, but what are they reading as the offer actually goes?
Right.
Do you use like all sorts of different platform, or like if people came from different places, because there's so many different builders now, like whether someone's using ClickFunnels or using Go High Level or using anything in between, do you help them improve on their existing platform, or do you use something specific?
We're specifically service-based sites. So we use WordPress primarily and content sites. So we're all about giving information. And that's why we like SEO so much. Google's all about producing useful information, user experience, credibility, the slow burn kind of things. So things like Google Ads, funnels, that's not our thing. But if a client is after that, we're happy to refer them to our strategic partners.
Yeah, okay.
So it is competitive, and because it's competitive, we need to specialize in our craft.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I kind of like to ask, just so I know where people's lanes are, right?
Yes.
When it comes to like WordPress, which is where you specializing. So if someone comes to you, let's say they have a ClickFunnels website, right?
Yeah.
Would you kind of like mirror that or migrate it somehow or mimic it to a WordPress if they wanted to work with you? How would you go about that? And, would they get a better SEO, ranking on WordPress versus like a ClickFunnels, in your opinion?
Yes, definitely. I think it depends on the strategy, right? Let's say ClickFunnels works. How are they filling that ClickFunnels? Is it through ads, socials, etc.?
Yeah, so let's go from, because ads is kind of like a cheap way because you're just dumping money to force it in front of your audience. So that's kind of a bit unfair because it's literally, have you been targeting your audience well? And then there's a whole range of that. So let's go from a fair comparison. Like it's organic. Let's say you've only got, I don't know, your first 200 followers or something, right? Like on Facebook.
Yeah.
So you started building it on ClickFunnels. Would it be to someone's advantage to build it on WordPress instead from a organic traffic search?
Look, again, it depends, but I think we can have the funnel still standalone, either as a landing page or subdomain or a sub page within the broader domain. So you have the SEO side of things that feeds into the ClickFunnels, so you don't disrupt the funnel side.
Because we're saying the WordPress one could almost be like, say, your library, right?
Yeah.
It's like if it was me and I have my WordPress on CamsPhone, and then I could have like my podcast stuff, my book club stuff, whatever offer I'm making.
Yeah.
These could have its own individual funnel, but there's the main WordPress site.
Yes.
And when you're clicking into it, it just bounces off the other one.
Yes. And that's exactly it. That's a good analogy. So the library, the index card, or even that desk in front of the library where you check what you're looking for, that can be the WordPress site, and it just leads into all your other offerings.
Yeah. That's the specialty you do. Yeah,
that's the specialty we do. Yes.
Okay, cool. And who do you mainly target certain people? They like lawyers, doctors, professionals. What are the range of
so being a numbers person, our business is reflective of the Australian economy. So we've got a big chunk of trades, we've got a big chunk of health professions, allied health professions, doctors, clinics, we've got lawyers, we've got vet clinics.
Within Australia?
Within Australia.
Yeah. So mainly your customers are Australians.
Mainly Australian-based companies. So we do have a finance company, a research company with headquarters in the finance hubs, so London, New York, etc., based in Sydney.
And you serve the different audiences within Australia in the different service.
Yes. So we help them rank. We can help them gain that credibility because, as similar to what you said earlier on, ads is the cheap way. Organic search is legitimate.
How much money can you dump in there?
Yes, exactly. And we've got a whole presentation and stats to back up that organic search is the most trusted by far. And how much percentage of click-through rates go to organic search results and so on. So look, the recipe's out there, but it's if you can give 5 chefs the same recipe, the master chef will always trump the others. So it's
so if like a small business starter, they're like, okay, I want to start my business. Would you advise them to start that website first, or what would your advice be? Or do your advice not kind of come in there?
No, there's always advice for everyone. And based on our story, we have enough experience to advise anyone, no matter how big or small. So for a small startup with a limited budget and they're local, start with a website, start with Google Business Profile, get rankings in your local area. Start making money and then reinvest it, right? It's the same with our story. Why did we redesign our websites 5 times? Because we only had a budget and that many time, wearing thousands of different hats. But now we're wearing less hats. We can focus and build a higher value website for us.
When you say start a Google profile, what does that really mean?
So Google Business Profile, so we're talking local business now. Let's say a new plumber, or let's say even a NLP coach that wants to service a certain area, and they want to, let's say Lane Cove, for example, and they want to help lots of Lane Cove mums and dads survive the cost of living crisis, then start a Google Business Profile. So Google that, build a website, Google Business Profile will get the traffic.
And
that's
this
free.
is just the thing that we're talking about. So I have Calm's phone coach.
Yeah.
And they can go review. We're just talking about that profile, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, pretty much.
It's like done one thing, right? Nice.
Yes, yes. And there are assets, right? You can have Calm's phone. You can have like there's a copywriter that's really well known that's got his official business name, but then he consults high ticket sale. That's his name. So joeblogs.com.au is his high ticket one-on-one coaching consulting type outsource marketer, and then he's got his xyz.com.au, and that he upsells and downsells and cross sells across those two domains.
Yeah. So someone starting just on their journey, they've started the profile, they're getting their website. Is your specialty then? It's like, okay, you help them refine that offer, or do they come to you with, this is what I need? Because a lot of people that starts don't really know what they want. Like they don't know what to write on the hook. They don't know what to write on, things that are like, say for example, like 3 benefits, then the elements that are like, okay, now it's like the before and after, then the testimonial. Do you advise them on what to have on the page?
We do work on that if they're looking for something to start off with. Of course, you've got ChatGPT.
now it's just like much more simple.
You've got that,
guys.
And then you've got copywriters. So when you're more established, so in terms of the progression, start up, do everything yourself, build a Squarespace, Wix website, just get something off the ground, Google Business Profile, then get more money, talk to us. We can advise, and then improve the Wix website, move that to WordPress, then ChatGPT. By then you will have your own offering.
If someone is on that Wix, I know quite a few people that's on that. What's the advantage of them moving away from Wix into the WordPress?
Google search credibility, right? There's a reason why Wix sites they do rank. It is possible, but that's like doing SEO with a handicap. There's a reason why 60% or 50%, whatever the statistics is, more than 60% of the world's websites are on WordPress, because Google knows WordPress sites are developed faster. There's new things, so they'll crawl those websites more so than off-the-shelf websites. Of course, there's always exceptions to the case, but by and large, if you want to rank, then WordPress is the way.
What's the kind of budget people need to have saved up to kind of start talking to you and have that conversation?
That is such a good question. I've got lots of formulas for that. So come to my events. We run face-to-face networking events all around Sydney. We educate, and one of the questions we answer is, how much should I invest in the website? But for us, look, 4,500 starting website. If you're in a professional service that's regulated, say health profession or a lawyer or an accountant, that's 6,500 for the same starter website. Just because we need to be careful about what we say on the sites, and also how we manage and capture the contact forms and people's details. So there's a formula behind that when to engage us. The formula is you need to make sure that you're getting 5x of your marketing budget. Right, so 5x
of your marketing.
So if your marketing budget is $10,000, you should be making sure that you're getting 50,000 top line revenue from that. Right, 10,000 doesn't get you very far, admittedly. So if you're going to spend half of that on a website, doesn't really make sense. So you need to grow, and you need to have an idea of where you want to go. You need to have some sort of establishment before you seek a professional. Otherwise, you can do it yourself, or there's other providers that probably have a lower entry point. So
that makes sense. I guess that actually does. I love how you very distinctively kind of like cut off where the customer start and end. Which is what I love about you saying that, because it's like, okay, well, at the beginning, in case people missed it, it's like you can start websites for free. And that is the Wix and Squarespace. They might have, are they free or something very minimal anyway?
Minimal, and
very minimal.
Now there's Webflow and all kinds of these.
So the starting journey is start somewhere that's free. And it's like the formula you're saying, how much they spend in marketing. When you went into that formula, I don't think a small business owner will go to the marketing budget. They don't have that. Oh, this is my income. These are my equipment budget. This is my marketing budget. Like, I don't think people categorize those upfront. You know, this is like, I've spent money on Zoom, Canva. So all of these are kind of like, you know, in its, I don't know. I think they just think of these as essential buckets in a business.
Yes.
And I don't think people really can differentiate what is even marketing. So when you think of marketing, do you think of that as, is advertising a different bucket?
Advertising, yeah, advertising is a form of marketing.
Yeah, it is.
There's multiple forms, yes.
So what would some examples of marketing be for like the general people that are just listening? Because I'm from business background, right? So that's people need context.
Yes, and people need to be educated in it. So look, website is the conversion tool, right? If you listen to any ads on the radio, they'll do their blurb, 30-second blurb, and see website for details.
Yes, yeah.
So even networking, right? Business card, LinkedIn, it all leads to the website. The website's not your marketing. It's your conversion tool. So then picture that there's a big funnel, and that's where advertising, click funnels, SEO, door knocking, cold calling, TV ads, billboard ads, all those are your different marketing activities. All those will have a budget. You may think that networking is free, but it's not. You're spending billable hours networking instead of billing.
That's such a good point, right?
Yeah.
This is like, I think people need to know, because many times it'll be like, oh, but they think it's free, right? But you're saying, networking isn't free.
Yeah. It's not free.
Because how should we be thinking? Because you're thinking very business-like,
I'm
right?
a propeller head.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And I know this is going to just go over someone's head, because they won't be thinking my hours are billable hours in that way. Explain that to them.
So let's ideal world, right? When you start up, you're probably working more than 40 hours a week, but let's go 40 hours a week, just for argument's sake. You've got 40 hours a week to make money.
Yeah.
How much money do you need to make to survive? So let's say this person needs to make $1,000 a week, right? You've got 40 hours to make that $1,000. If you're spending 20 hours of those networking and then another 10 driving to and from and finding parking, you're left with 10 hours billable time. You need to charge your clients $250 an hour or whatever, however many hours left, $100 an hour left to make your 1,000. So that's that.
That's good. You see, this actually helps people prioritize and see the importance of time and getting efficient about it. Because so often we would spend a lot of time doing activities that are low-level activities, and we get stuck in those.
Yes.
And we're not paying someone like just outsourcing these or delegating these, realizing we can do that. And that took me a while too, right? Like all the video editing, I'm like just spending hours on it.
Yes.
And then realizing, I could just get someone else to do this, free up my time. Because when you say billable hours, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because that's really going, because if I do these, I'm really saying if I could pay someone like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
But I go and spend 10 hours on this thing. It's like I just lost all of this time when I could be with a client and be like $500 an hour. It's like, why did I spend all this time? That is free time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And it's the same, right? You're bringing that back to websites. You first, when you start up, you just smash something out for 2 hours. You don't have a lot of clients, so you probably have a bit more free time. Then you move to the Upwork side of things and then to make the website better. And then once you've exhausted that, because offshore only gets you that far, then you want something more premium. You signing bigger deals. You want more credibility. You're actually tendering for jobs.
Yeah.
That's when you come to people like us.
Okay. Well, what's for people with just to benchmark a little bit?
Yeah.
If they're starting today,
yes.
What should they be aiming for? Is it like by year 3 you should be seeing Stephen, or what is that kind of a bit like? Like if they're doing it full time, let's say.
Yes.
Like they've quit their job, they're like ready to go.
Different for everybody. I haven't researched, so I can't.
Just a gauge.
I go year.
Instinct, man.
Gut instinct year 2. Year 2. If you're crazy like a Comes From or a Stephen Key, You can get away with year one. You want to take over the world ASAP, then come to us sooner rather than later. And you've got ammo, you've got firepower. Let's hit the road running.
That's really cool. That's good to know. I think it gives people, something to aim for. Yeah, nice.
And it's the education part, right? By year two, you're starting to understand the importance of marketing. You're starting to understand the important difference between billable and non-billable. You can make more informed decisions.
Yeah, and by then they've probably tried different website tools and different things and go, oh, okay, this will drive traffic. Start to know the terminologies, like what's even conversions and what's funnel.
That's right. And had a few battle scars to prove that they're worthy.
Done a few events, failed a few.
Exactly. Had some of those painful nights staring at the ceiling, wondering, what have I done?
What's some battle scars that you've collected? Like, do you have some war stories to tell people?
Signing on a client when we had no idea how we're gonna deliver, right? Because or even let's use that example. The content sites, but then we got a great opportunity for an e-commerce site, and then let's use the word burnt to a crisp. We had the client saying on the phone, Stephen, my blood pressure is going up right now. There's nothing better than pressure, knowing that your back's against the wall to come up with a solution. So thankfully we got over that. I'm still alive. I'm not great. I'm not bald. So nothing against those people, but
That's awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate your time. It's really fun chatting to you to get to know you more. I might have to hit you up. So for everyone else that are listening that wants to hit you up, what's the best place to go to?
LinkedIn. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Otherwise, look us up smedigital.com.au. Awesome.
Okay. So hit Stephen up on LinkedIn. I'll be sure to drop the link. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Coms.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.